Well, howdy there, Internet students. This is Mr. Hermanson here, helping you with Objective 6.3D. By doing these problems, hopefully you can retest and pass this one. Okay? So this is all about sequences. We have two types of sequences that we're concerned with, arithmetic and geometric. Arithmetic sequences have a common difference. In other words, you add or subtract the same amount every time. Geometric sequences have a common ratio. In other words, you're going to multiply or divide by the same amount every time. Okay? So we're going to just look at these and see what type they are, and if they're not arithmetic or geometric, then you're just going to write neither. So to check if it's arithmetic, I'm going to subtract consecutive terms. So I'm going to do 10 minus 8, which is 2. So this one's going up 2. And then I'm going to do 14 minus 10, which is 4. And so this is going up 4. So this is not arithmetic because I'm adding different amounts. Now to check and see if this is geometric, I'm going to divide. See if there's a common ratio. So I'm going to do 10 divided by 8, which is 1.25. Then I'm going to do 14 divided by 10, which is 1.4. And again, it's not the same amount, so this is not a geometric sequence either. So I'm going to say this one is neither. Okay, let's try another one here. Let's do the next one in line here. So checking to see if it's arithmetic, I'm going to do 8.1 minus 10.5. And that equals negative 2.4. Then I'm going to do 5.7 minus 8.1. And that's also negative 2.4. So since I'm getting a common difference here of negative 2.4, I'm going to say that this one is arithmetic. Okay, let's do one more here. I'll try this one here. I believe this is a geometric, but we'll just check it out. So geometrics have a common ratio, so to get that common ratio, I would divide 12 by 8, which is 1.5. Then 18 divided by 12, that's also 1.5. So you can check one more, do 27 divided by 18, but I think you'll find that that's also 1.5. So this one has a common ratio, and that ratio is 1.5, and so we're going to say this is a geometric sequence. All right, the next thing we're concerned about is, can we create a formula that would help us find any term in the sequence? And then once we have that formula, we're going to find the 12th term. Now, this first set of 4 problems here, these are all arithmetic sequences. So these we're going to write the function rule like this. Since they're arithmetic, which means they're basically linear. So our m is our common difference, so how much we're adding or subtracting every time. And our b is our 0th term. Or maybe you want to think of it as a starter term. Okay? So what we need to do is first figure out what is the common difference, and then figure out what the 0th term is, and we're going to use that to write the formula. Okay? So I'm going to do on this problem 10.5 minus 8, which is 2.5. So my common difference is 2.5. So I can start writing my equation now. The 2.5 is the m, that goes in front of the x. So we're going to multiply 2.5 times x, which x is our term number, and I'll get it and show you what that means in a second here. Now I just have to figure out what my 0th term is. So 8 is my first term, 10.5 is my second, 13 is my third, 15.5 is my fourth, and so on. I need the 0th term to write the formula, so I need to go back 1. Since I'm adding to go forward, I'm going to subtract to go back. So I'm going to do 8 minus the common difference of 2.5, and that equals 5.5. So that goes where the letter B is, And then the last thing I'm going to do is find the 12th term. To do that, I just replace the 12 with where the x is and calculate. So I'm going to do 2.5 times 12 plus 5.5. And 2.5 times 12 is 30 plus 5.5 equals 35.5. All right, let's do a geometric series. Write the formula. I think I'll do this one right here. Okay, now the formula for a geometric series looks like this. F of x equals a times b to the x. On this one, whatever we're multiplying by, the common ratio goes where the b is. And the a is our starter term, or our 0th term. So to find the common ratio, we're going to have to divide 12 by 8, and that's 1.5. So that is the b part of the equation here. So 1.5, since it's a decimal, I'm going to put it in parentheses. And then I need to find the 0th term. Now to get the 0th term, remember this is the first, this is the second, this is the third. I need the 0th, so the term before the 8. Now since we're multiplying by 1.5 to get the next term, I'm going to take 8 and divide it by my first term divided by 1.5 to get the previous term. 8 divided by 1.5 is like 15.3 repeating. So I'm going to change that to a fraction, which my calculator tells me is 16/3. And that will go right there. So 16/3 times 1.5 to the x power. Okay, so to find the 12th term, we're going to do 16/3 times 1.5 to the 12th power, which my calculator tells me is about 692. It's actually 691 point something. All right, on to the next page. It says find the value of x and y for each geometric sequence. For this, I'm just going to guess and check. So geometric tells me that I'm multiplying by something. So I'm just going to guess. So what if I multiply this 2 by 2 each time? If I do, then I would get 2, 4, 8. So that's not right. So let's go up again. Let's try multiplying by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Nope, not working. How about 4? 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. It looks like I got it. 32 times 4 is 128, and 128 times 4 is 512. So x equals 8, and y equals 128. All right. Let's do one more problem. It says if the 4th term of an arithmetic sequence is 30 and the 10th term is 45, what is the first term? Well, remember that the term number is your input. So 4th term is 30. The 10th term is 45. So I can look at this, and actually we can see that we're going up 15 here as x goes up by 6. So that means if I do 15 divided by 6, that I'm going up 2.5 for each one. So 2.5 is the amount I'm adding every time. So I can write the formula like this: 2.5x plus something. And to figure out that something, I need the 0 term. So to figure out the 0 term, I'm just going to go back from 4 back to 0. And so I'm going to multiply 4 times 2.5. That's how much I need to go back from this number 30. So 4 times 2.5 is 10. And 30 minus 10 is 20. So my starting term would be 20. All right, and now I can figure out what the first term is. I just do 2.5 times 1 plus 20. and that gives me 22.5. All right, hope this helped you and prepared you for doing the retake. Good luck.